Okay, so it is Thursday, May, what is it, 19th, 18th, somewhere around there, 20th, I'm not sure. Last night, we had a frost advisory, if you can believe it. I was just like, whatever. I didn't do anything. I didn't have any precautions in place. I've planted a ton of stuff. I haven't been over to Materville to check there yet, but this is my first, I haven't even checked my garden, but I'm headed out there now to see what happened. I'm a little nervous. I'm sure some stuff did okay. I'm worried about the peppers because when I looked this morning at the temperature, it had said it was only going to get down to 40. But then when I looked, when I got up, because it's now about 10 o'clock, I just edited a video and I kind of wanted it to wait to warm up. But when I looked at the temperature, it said it was 38, but felt like 34 or something like that. I was like, oh my God, what? All right, so let's go out and see what kind of damage has been done. All right, so everything in the green stalks looks to be okay. Ooh, look at that one. This is Groovy Tunes. What is? You would think that there's something wrong with it because of the color, but nope. It's the color it's supposed to be. It's so wild. These are taking off. I need to water this. Totally need to water it. Besides needing watered, which I should have done last night since it was going to be so chilly, the winter sowing looks okay for the most part, just needs water, which I'm about to do. And the tomatoes, so far they look okay. They just need watered. Okay, so we're good. We are good. We need to plant some more. Let's check out what's in the garden. The jet black hollyhocks look like they're doing pretty good. Oh, the peppers. I hope they're not stunted. Look at this one here. This one is called Collage Between the Lines, and it's a variegated pepper. Goodness, it's so pretty. Do I only have one of those? Well, that's a bit of a bummer. I feel like I thought I had more. But, I mean, they look okay. They look like they're doing... Oh, this one already has a little flower bud on it. I don't know. I dumped a winter sowing container that was empty in here. As you can see, it must have had kale in it. 'Cause look. Or the seeds from kale. I think I had kale over here. No, I'm pretty sure it was kale. And I dumped it over here. There was more seeds in it, and now all this kale is popping up everywhere. Maybe I'll transplant some of them. All right, let's check out these. All right, everything looks okay. I need to put down some slug and snail bait. You see the little holes in some of my leaves? Darn slugs. Okay, things are looking alrighty. Everything down there looks okay too, I can see. Alright, so we've survived that little hiccup. I was just not gonna go through the effort. I know it sounds silly after doing all this work of putting blankets and what. I was tired from work yesterday and I was like, whatever. And just said a little prayer. All right, another day of planting. Okay, y'all, do you remember that tree that fell around Christmas time? Do you remember that tree that destroyed my greenhouse and my chicken coop? So it was right here, and I had a gorgeous that was just, I'd planted it 3 years ago. It was a orange, I'm not sure the variety, but a trumpet vine that was all the way up this tree. It was gorgeous. Last year was the first year it flowered, and I was so excited for it. And I thought when the tree came up, it pulled up a bunch of the roots and a bunch of the stem, you see? But look at this thing. It wants, and there's a chunk of it over here too. It wants to survive. It wants to live at my house. So, I don't actually have any trees to plant it near so it can grow up the trees. So what I'm thinking about doing is maybe planting it over, it might be a bad idea, my husband might not like it, but I've always wanted like, what is that, wisteria. You know how people have wisteria or those climbing rose bushes all over their, like climbing up their decks and their porches. I love that look. I love it. And I'm thinking maybe I'll plant a piece of that over there. I don't know, because I'd really like, maybe I'll plant it over at the swing set. Maybe try to get it to grow up over the swing set. I don't know. I just don't want to, if it's trying to live, it's trying to make it, I want it to make it too. I think I might do that. Okay, so I am down in the new garden beds that my husband just built me. This is the bottom one. Right below that one, you can see that's where I planted some tomatoes behind me here. So there's the bottom arches, but I'm in the first one, and you can see kind of what I'm doing. I'm leveling off the dirt because it got all pushed up here whenever he was trying to build this wall. So now I'm trying to bring it all back down here and get all these giant rocks out of it and just get it nice and cleaned up. I have to do this bed, and then I still have to do that bed. You can see some of the scrap wood still hanging out there, but after that, it's planting time again. I'm going to plant tomatoes all in those two beds. Olive, you are so loud.
I know.
Oh, silly chickens.
Funny, you're the loudest. You're the loudest chicken. Yeah. I don't know why no one likes you. I think you're great.
I like her. So beautiful, aren't you, Olive? All right, so what are we doing here? We're adding...
How high you want this?
I want to be able to reach the top of it. That should be good. So, what is this called? Conduit? Is this 3/4 inches?
It's silver.
Huh?
What?
3/4 inches conduit.
I'm not sure, dear.
Just cutting it and then adding it to... Wow, that was easy. Awesome.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's designed for, when you put any type of lateral pressure on it, it's going to tear, but I think more will be good, honestly.
I am out here at my lazy compost pile. I'm filling up buckets of compost to take over to Materville because I have about, probably 120 more tomatoes I gotta plant, and I need some more compost to take over there and put in the hole with my tomatoes. But I just wanted to show you. So with my lazy pile, I just pile everything on top and just let it compost down, and then at the very bottom, so usually every fall and spring I clear off the top and take everything from the bottom, and as you can see, this right here is just beautiful. It's a little wet at the bottom, but it dries out and it becomes, you know, really, you can see eggshells in there. But the stuff at the bottom layer here is really good compost. So I'm filling up, I don't know, 4 or 5 buckets to take over there. And then I'm going to plant up the rest of the tomatoes. I'll see you guys over there. I am back over at Materville. And I don't know how much footage I got last night of what we were doing, but so this is a conduit, metal conduit, and it's 1/2 inch. And then these T thingies holding it in. We just, so as it didn't have to be so precise, because you can see here, the first one that we did slipped through as we were measuring. So we decided we were just gonna tape them into it. That way, it just was easier that way. And then we used metal conduit to make it taller. I don't know if my tomato plants will get this tall, but it's as high as I can reach. That'd be great if they did. That'd be real cool. They might. I mean, I've had some pretty tall tomato plants, but then we just like taped. So he cut pieces of it and then we taped it. He was gonna screw it, but then his dad had the great idea of duct tape, and it worked great. So thanks for that, Bernie. But so it's all up. It's not completely straight, as you see. It's like zigzagged, which is, in my opinion, pretty cool, but whatever. So I've got the compost. I've got some fertilizer and tomatoes. So I'm going to plant them kind of in a zigzag pattern, maybe just about 12 inches apart all the way across this pile, so that way I can fit more in instead of doing one right in the middle. And there still be string that comes from the top of the conduit down to each tomato plant. I forgot the string today, plus they're still kind of small. I think I'd like them to get just a bit bigger before I tie the nylon string to them. But look at this over here. I made a boo-boo, wasn't paying attention. The first tomato plants I brought over, so yesterday we were here looking, I was looking at all of them, checking them all out, and I was like, well, look at this one. It's already got flower buds. And then I looked, the buds were like so tiny. I was like, wait a minute. It's a micro. Like you, duh. But happy accident, I thought to myself, well, why can't I plant micros over here? I have enough space. So I brought, plus I have this little patch right here of where it didn't reach, and I was like, well, what am I going to plant here? And I thought, I'll plant some micros. And then there's an area right around there that I put some dirt, and then there's an area way back there where there's a pile of dirt along the fence line, and I'm just going to plant all these micros. I've got them and I don't know what to do with them, and they're starting to look rough in these pots, so I'm going to plant them. All right, so I almost left once again without showing you what I did. So like I said, I put this little patch of micro dwarfs here, and then here are all the tomato plants staggered. Now I actually have planted pretty much all, I think it's like 280, 300 different varieties that I have. I have more started of different varieties, but these are the ones that took my first round, and I've planted every single one, at least one of them, and then a lot of these are repeats. So it's a second tomato plant, and you know, hopefully at least one of them will give me something. But there they all are, day one, all the way across. So I'm just gonna, and then this is what I planted last week looks like. I'm very happy, very healthy. I actually went around, I had fertilizer left over and some compost left over, so I am going to bring over more compost and do the rest of everything. Just put a little layer around the top with some the fertilizer that I used too, because I didn't do that when I planted these, and I should have, but I was just in a hurry to get things in the ground. They begin to suffer in pots, and you have to be very diligent with fertilizing, and I'm not. So it's better for me to just get them in the ground. So that's what I did, and here's what they look like a week later. Looking really good. Planted all of these, and these are peppers and everything. There's a few that I planted 3 weeks ago down at the end, but most of these are a week in the ground. So they're all looking really good. Really pleased. Everything transplanted just fine. It doesn't look like there was a whole lot of transplant shock. Peppers are looking, some of them are like doing great. These are the ones I bought at the nursery, so they're like really looking good. Those are California Reaper, but these two aren't doing so hot. This is Capozzoli de Shirima. I don't know, they look kind of rough, but I'm hoping they bounce back. I gave them a little fertilizer, so we'll see. And I had told you I was going to, didn't plant all of the micros I brought over, but I planted up a bunch. So these are the ones that I planted. My next goal is to come over and mulch. I don't know. I want them to get a little bit bigger before I mulch underneath them, but we'll see. I mean, this one needs dusted off. Yeah, so hopefully by next week they're a little bit bigger and I can mulch under them. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the rest of that or get the mulch that I like to use in my garden and put on here. I don't know yet. We'll see. I feel like it's a waste of money if I don't just use that, because there's a good bit of it and I think it could cover everything. So I'm leaning towards using that, but I don't know. We'll see.